Hello everyone, Malfight here, and today I want to talk about the new Navi roster in the LEC. So this is an article from Sheep Esports, and we can see that Navi retains Adam ahead of LEC debut. So for those of you who don't know, Navi is taking over from Rogue. Rogue has been trying to sell the team for quite some time now, and finally it seems that they have reached a deal, and the Navi, the Ukrainian org known famously from Counter-Strike, is going to acquire Rogue, and they are going to rebuild the roster. So this article tells us that they are actually keeping Adam. There have been some rumors that they might get Maynter from KCB, but they are actually going to keep Adam, and Larssen is expected to stay, while Patrik and Execute are likely to be replaced. Now this is a bit of a shame because I think Execute is still a very good support. He was pretty good in the LEC. He was also like pretty mediocre, but not terrible in the LCK. And if you're like a mediocre player in the LCK, that probably means you can be still pretty good in the LEC, especially if you're a bottom team like Rogue. But okay, there's probably some internal stuff going on, and they will most likely replace Execute, previously known as Jonghoon, and Patrik, whose performance, to be fair, has been just like decreasing every year, and I think this is probably the time for this. I mean, nothing, I don't mean anything bad with this to Patrik, but the playstyle has been getting worse and worse. So we don't know much about Malrang in the jungle, but we assume that he's going to replace as well. Personally, I didn't like Malrang and Patrik on this team since the beginning. I don't think these were really good moves. But since we know top lane and mid lane are staying, we need to replace bot, support, and jungle. And so I prepared a little bit of theory crafting, a little bit of potential replacements. And I'm gonna start with the bot lane. Alright, so let's start with Exacick, or now known as 3XA or Exa. So this guy obviously still quite young. He came to SK Gaming in the LEC and then got replaced and now is playing for Carmine Corp Blue. This guy's still very, very good. I mean, he's also showing that in the KCB he's trying to prove himself, trying to show that he can make it and he can do a good job in the LEC again. So obviously an option for the team. Next up we have Neon. Look at this guy's team history. 26-year-old veteran by now, playing in the LEC previously for Misfits, Schalke, Misfits again, then Team Vitality, then kind of got relegated, and now is playing in Misa Esports, and they just made the EMEA or the previous European Masters, the EMEA Masters. Neon is proving himself to still be a really good AD carry, so if you want more stability in the team, I think Neon is a really, really good AD carry still. An argument that could be made is that he's quite old now in the sense of the esports world, and same like Patrik, he might just be like decreasing in his performance. Personally, I think it could be an interesting addition, but Exacick might still be considered a better option. However, we have also Bean. So Bean, again, by now already quite a veteran of the scene, but I still remember him playing for Fnatic in the World and having quite an impressive run. Since then, been doing pretty solid in the Prime League and other leagues as well. But again, similar to Neon, I think it would be cool to give Bean a shot in the LEC, but I think someone like Exacick is more likely. However, now I am going to move to the more likely contenders. So first of all, we have Comp. I think Comp is as likely as Exacick. Still very good, playing for Gentlemates, also made EMEA Masters as Exacick and Bean and Neon. All these players are from EMEA Masters currently. This guy has been playing on Rogue before for a long time, so he knows Larssen. I think they're still pretty good buddies. I think Larssen wants him to come back probably, but we'll see, but this guy's still a really good AD carry, so they have some options for the spot. But if you want to get someone else, give someone else a chance, Here's Booshi. So Booshi actually been playing for Tier 2 LFL and now got promoted to BK Rog and made EMEA Masters with them, and actually is pretty solid. He's just 20 years old. French as well, maybe some synergy with Adam in that sense. But you could go with Exacick if you want to be more sure, but Booshi is more of a coin flip, and it could be pretty interesting to have this guy on the team. They also played with Adam in the tournament at the beginning of the year, where there was also Los Ratones first tournament, and I think there was also Jankos with a Polish team. So this guy is pretty good. He's been popping up quite a bit recently, getting his chance, so it might be Booshi as well. But now this is my top pick, and it's Hans Sam D. So obviously Sam D, he's been playing in the LCK and LPL before. He's been doing quite a good job. Still not that old. I mean, already kind of approaching his last year of his prime or whatnot. Maybe not prime anymore, but still a very, very solid player. Previously in BK Rog, in the LFL, now in the EC Japan Corp, made the EMEA Masters in the winter split, and now in the spring split. This guy is did not make it, but he's still really, really cracked. I think after Calist, he was probably the best AD carry in the league, and right now he is probably the best AD carry in the LFL. So it would be really cool if Navi or the previously Rogue, but I'll call them Navi already. So if Navi wants to do something cool, wants to really give it the best shot, maybe give Hans Sam D at least a chance and see how that goes. So that's about it for bot lane. Top pick for me is Sam D, and it would also be really cool to see him play in the LEC finally against Hans Sama. See that Hans Sama versus Hans Sam D would be really cool. I think everyone was waiting for that, so it would finally happen. Other than that, I think Exacick, Booshi would be my biggest contenders for the spot. Next up, we are going to pick a support. So first I have Mursa from LFL, Solari, obviously been playing in the LEC before for Misfits, was doing pretty good in Team Heretics again. Nothing special, but got relegated again to the ERLs. So still a solid pickup. I think he could get a shot again in the league. Maybe a Mursa comp bot lane, a Greek bot lane could be interesting. But yeah, other than that, I don't know how likely we are to see that. It depends a lot on the pairing, right? You usually get it as a bundle, as an AD carry and a support. So yeah, maybe with comp, Mursa would make more sense. Now we have DOS. So DOS obviously also played in the LEC before in SK Gaming for a year. He was okay. He was playing with Exacick. So again, if you want to get Exacick, maybe reuniting him with DOS could be really cool, or maybe you want to explore something else, but it's an option. This guy is still pretty good, pretty solid in a support. But we have bigger names and bigger contenders, so prepare for this one. It's Trymbi. So Trymbi played for Rogue before, for quite some time actually. Rogue and Koi for 2.5 years, then been in Fnatic and Team Heretics, and I think he's been really, really good actually this whole time, and now he's playing in the LTA South and Vivo Keat Stars. I think still really good, a really good player. You would want him on the team, but he also said he wants to build something lasting and probably, moved to South America, has his life there already. So it might be a bit weird to just go so quickly after his season finishes, after he's also going to be playing at MSI, to just move to the LEC, to Europe again and play for the team. But it would be really cool to see him back on the team. Again, there are other players he played in the past with, but maybe he does not have the best of relationship with these guys. So I don't think it's that likely, but it would definitely be really cool, a move for this team. Other than that, we have also Hyllisang. So Hyllisang is open on the market. He's 30 years old. Really crazy, but still a very, very strong player. And he is under the Team Vitality contract, so he is currently inactive, so he's under contract. They would have to buy him out. Team Vitality is known for being one of the richer orgs, so probably would cost quite a bit. So maybe not the best financial idea, but having Hyllisang in your team is still a very solid support. But other than that, we also have Kaiser. So Kaiser currently in Lost Heretics. They're not doing too hot in the EMEA Masters right now, but I think Kaiser, again, depending on what kind of support you're going to get, very, very good. Depending on what kind of AD carry you're going to get, very good support player. And finally, we have Limit, again, more veteran support, playing in the LEC for quite some time. I think this guy is still really good. He's still cracked. I do not know why people don't have this guy in the LEC. But yeah, you could get him back, depending all on the pairing. So there are some pretty interesting pairs. There are more vocal AD carries that like to manage the game. There are the ones that like to be managed by their support and so on. So you have to make a nice pairing for it to work, but you have very good options, and I think it's not going to be a problem for Navi to get a good bot lane, also to pair with Adam and Larssen in the mid lane. Now finally we're going to look at the junglers, and hear me out, this might get a little bit crazy, but hear me out. So first we have Jankos. Now I know this guy's playing for Nord Esports, but he's also a co-streamer for Rogue, so he already has some ties to the organization. Now they're going to become Navi, and they can just send him a message. I mean, they already kind of communicate with him, and they can be like, hey, it's going to just be just one season. You can still show you're pretty good. You can still show how good you are in the LEC, and he might take it. I mean, it's just LEC, it's probably very cool for Jankos, and I think with a team like Adam and Larssen, I don't know what kind of relationship he has with these guys, but if they get a solid bot lane, I think they might get a solid run. They probably would be very hard to crack the top 4 in the current LEC. That's not really what we're expecting, but if they could attack the place 5 or 6, maybe have some sort of competitive fire lit under them, I think getting Jankos would be really cool. Other than that, if you don't want to just get Jankos for one season and you want to invest more in the future of your team, I think the perfect jungler to go for is Daglas. So this guy, still 19 years old. He was in the LEC previously in Team Vitality, and he's actually been doing pretty well. I don't know what happened. I don't know why Team Vitality demoted him. They promoted Linsas instead of him. And to be fair, although Linsas seems like a crazy talent, I think Daglas was actually doing a lot better. He just had such a better showing. Now this might be also because of a different meta. This might be also just because of a luck or the time we've seen him. It might also be because of the team composition and coaching staff and management and whatnot. There are so many variables, but he is still very good, and he's still very good on the current team that he is, which is the Lost Heretic with Kaiser. So maybe you could kind of bring them as a bundle deal as well. But other than that, I think this guy deserves to be in the LEC. He is that young rookie that we might need, and I would much rather see him in the LEC than, let's say, Malrang, or then let's say 113 or Isma. Or maybe even Bukada, and nothing against these guys. I just think that this guy really has that potential, and getting him the opportunity to play with the guys at the LEC level would be, I think, so much better for him, for his return to glory. So Navi, if you hear this, if someone sends you this or something, I'm vouching for this guy. So yeah. Other than that, Closer. He took a break for his mental health, but he is insane. I mean, he was doing really well when he was on Giant X. I think the team was doing a lot better than it is doing with Isma, and I think he was one of the better members of that team. And I think if he would come back to the team, maybe not the best decision for his mental health, but could definitely be a very strong team in the LEC, having, let's say, Adam, Closer, Larssen, and then something like Exacick or Sam D, and then for support you would have maybe Hyllisang or maybe Kaiser or maybe let's say Limit. I think this would be really cool. And finally, I'll end the video on my craziest speculation, or my craziest, not really speculation because I think it's very unlikely, but more like craziest suggestion, and that would be Bo. I mean, this guy didn't look too hot in the LEC his last time, but man, would I like to see this guy playing again. I think, if you could somehow figure it out, if you could somehow build the team around him, it would be so cool. But I think with Adam, already another crazy carry player on the team, I don't think it's very likely. But I would really like to see Bo playing again. So that's about it. That are my suggestions. Yeah, what do you think about this? How would you build your Navi roster, and are you excited for these changes? Let me know all of this in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.